Hi, welcome back to another junior number video. We're going to go back and talk about place value, but this time we're going to introduce it with decimals. Right, so way back at the start of this number topic, we talked about place value with whole numbers. We talked about them using digits or symbols or figures to write down numbers. Now, quite often we use commas to separate groups. Some people like to not have commas, just have spaces. And some people, perhaps not the best thing to do, but some people just write down the number with no commas or no spaces. All right, here is a quick reminder about place value for whole numbers, starting with our ones and units, going to tens and hundreds and thousands and 10,000, and moving to the left as we get larger and larger. Right, well now we're turning our attention to decimals. So this is the decimal point, and it is the difference. On the left, we have whole numbers, and on the right, we have what we often call part numbers. Now, the decimal point separates the whole numbers on the left from the part numbers on the right. Right, here's an example, 3,142.78937. Now, notice we do not use commas after the decimal point. So we often like to use commas to separate groups and numbers when they're whole numbers, but when we get to decimal points, we don't use commas as a general rule of thumb. Right, so the number 142.78937. So these are the units or the ones, these are the tens, these are the hundreds, and we could carry on the left, getting bigger and bigger. Let's now go to the right. These are what we call tenths. A tenth means to break a whole number up into 10 equal pieces. These are what we call hundredths. Hundredths. A hundredth means to break a whole number up into 100 equal pieces. These are now thousandths. And a thousandths mean to break a whole number up into 1,000 pieces. We go to 10 thousandths and we go to 100 thousandths. The next number, which I haven't got written down, would be millionth. Now notice we don't start with, this is a funny word, once. I don't think I said that right. But as soon as we get to the decimal point, the first number after the decimal point is tenths. All right, cool. Let's do an example and see if you get your head around this. What digit is in the hundredths column? Well, these are tenths, so these are the hundredths. So to answer this question, it is an 8, and 8 is in the hundredths column. Now, just as an extra bit here, 8 represents 8 hundredths, or we could write it as 8 over 100. All right, here's example 2, our last example of the video. What is the value of the digit that is coloured blue? Now, for those who can't quite see the blue, it is the number 3. So what is the value of the digit of the 3? So we've got tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so now this number represents 10 thousandths. So the 3 is 10 thousandths. Now, we can't just write that down because the question said, what's the value of the digit? So we need to say 3 10,000ths, or it might be better to write it as a fraction, 3 over 10,000, 3 10,000ths. All right, hey, thanks very much for watching.